welcome back to Noise Pollution.
Hi,
Today,
everybody.
today we're gonna pay some amount of small respect to a great writer that passed away, unfortunately. Legendary Marvel comic and Star Trek writer Peter David has passed away at 68. So I got into his stuff. I've always been a big Hulk comic fan. And I got into his stuff, because I read the Hulk regularly. And then he wrote, I mean, I didn't agree with everything that he wrote, but he did enrich the stories. He made it more personal and he made some real, it wasn't like a comic book story. It was real personal, dark at times. He was just a great writer. I think sometimes he weakened the character just to make it a writing point. I didn't appreciate that, but besides that, I really appreciated his writing. Marvel Comics is probably the main one he worked for, but he worked on Spider-Man 2099. I'm not sure, but he may have created that character. The Incredible Hulk, X Factor, and more. DC Comics, he's notable for runs on Aquaman, Supergirl, and Young Justice. He's also done dozens of Star Trek novel tie ins, worked on the hit sci fi series Babylon 5, and that just scratches the surface of his career.
Oh, okay.
In recent years, he's been struggling, though, as his medical problems caught up and the freelance work for these big entertainment corporations didn't end up paying very well. It wasn't that long ago that stories were circulating that he's asking for money. He's got one of these GoFundMe's or one some such thing as that, right? Because his he couldn't pay his medical bills, and unfortunately, it didn't garner much attention. But I think there's more broke people than not. So
Yeah.
him being one apparently. Many years ago, and this is him speaking here, many years ago, I had a television series on air called Space Cases. So he made a lot of money from that, but then the IRS came calling. So he says, I swung by the nearest ATM to withdraw some cash and was astounded to see that half of my money in my account was gone. Why was it gone? Because my then wife withdrew it in order to pay for a divorce lawyer, which was how I found out my marriage was dissolving. So the money never went to the IRS because I had to use the remainder to hire my own attorney. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Oh,
You made a bunch of money, you put it back. IRS like, we want our cut. You go to draw it out, and it's a big deposit has been taken out, and you find out it went to a divorce lawyer, and that's how you found out your wife was divorcing you. Imagine that.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is cruel, wouldn't you say
yeah,
so?
yeah. That's awful. Well, yeah.
So he says, and they want all the money plus penalty and interest, or they're going to financially destroy me.
Oh my.
So they wanted $88,000, and
Oh God.
apparently these comic companies, even though they're owned by much bigger companies like DC is owned by Warner Brothers and Marvel's owned by Disney, weren't paying him enough to scrape by apparently. So at the time, he raised 45,000 of that on a GoFundMe and said he got help from online friends to pay off the debt. And then, get this, he suffered kidney failure and a heart attack and numerous strokes.
Oh
This man could simply not catch a break.
no.
But there's one thing I've learned, writers, they usually have a fate like that. I mean, isn't that true?
Yeah, most artists do.
Well, yeah, artists in general, uh, I've dabbled at writing, and yeah, they generally suffer a very very bad fate.
I mean, most artists don't ever get recognized until after they're gone. So
So on top of all that, Peter was Peter was rejected for Medicaid after being on it for a year and a half. He was so poor he qualified for Medicaid. Imagine that. And he was the writer of very well known characters and very well known stories. But
Oh, that's just awful.
yeah, this is you know, the IRS came wanting their money. He was like, okay, I'll give you your money. His wife screwed him over. His health went downhill. He got kicked off of Medicaid, and he was bad off enough to qualify for it. This man, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but people should have helped him more when he was asking.
Yeah.
Not unlike Stan Lee. I mean, not that Stan Lee was asking, but everyone seen Stan Lee was kind of being abused in one sense or another.
Yeah. Yeah. I just can't imagine, you know, I would think him being so loved in the community like that for writing all those comics and for Star Trek and Babylon 5 and all that, one would think
And
that more,
he even had a hit TV show on TV at one point.
yeah, more people would come to it to help him, you know? I mean,
He wasn't just another comic writer. He was one of the most well-known comic writers. He was you know, loved for what he had created, for what the deep rich stories he had made. I mean,
well,
he may have been more well known for Star Trek stuff. I don't know, but I knew him from his run on the Hulk series, which he did enrich it. I didn't agree with everything in the way he wrote it, but he did indeed enrich it.
well, you know, it just goes to show that it doesn't matter in the end what you do, that if a string of bad luck comes to you, you're screwed,
There's
basically.
sometimes you see celebrities and you're like, oh, they got it so good. And then they come to find out that they were damn near penniless and in great despair.
Yeah.
I mean, and for that matter, look up how it ended with Benny Hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was
Uh,
tragic, too.
Look up how the band Ugly Kid Joe, when they went on tour,
Yeah.
they didn't have money to get drinks or food with. They just stuck them on a tour bus, no money. You're signed now, get to work, no money. My point being is, uh, you can't always look at celebrities or, you know, semi-famous people and go, "Ooh, it's not always the case."
Yeah. It's not all what as it seems. Because, I mean, they, you know, they're just people like everybody else. And it sometimes that shit happens to them, you know, just like everybody else.
I've known people who tried to they made a character and these were great artists and they would try to sell it to Marvel and DC back when they were the only game in town, and they would offer them like literally like $20, $50 maximum. And these people that I knew, they're like, oh fuck that. They made an attempt to make their own comic, but they didn't have the money behind it. And this was before the days of the internet, you know, where you could just put it digital and that kind of thing. But yeah, things are not always as they seem.
Mm-mm.
For our viewers out there, leave your own thoughts on this. I found this interesting. I hope you will as well. And until next time, we're out.